Hello everybody, Iain Robson here. Welcome back to Lakeside Farm. Alright, so today I am joined by Louie and Spudboy, and we're currently planting spuds, strangely enough. And as you can see, I have the... I forget what this tractor's called. This is an in-game tractor. The T8 435 here. And we're just currently cultivating here, and Spud's going to come up behind me with potatoes and plant potatoes. Now, the funny thing that I've realized already messing around this map is that I am like paranoid of running into things, because it's not cheap when you run into things with the damage mod. I think the other day Spud was saying he what did he do? I think he ran into something and it was like 40% damage, and then because of that it was like $10,000 in game, which is ridiculous. So anyhow, but damage mod does add a little bit of element. It's definitely come a long way since I first messed around with it. It's actually, like, you know, good now, I guess. Before, it was like... it just seemed like it was like anything that you did, you would, you know, bump something, and it was like, you know, 50% damage. Now, it's kind of a much more gradual thing, which I really like, because before it definitely wasn't, so... Anyways, before I forget, let me go ahead and just thank my patrons once again. You guys are really awesome. I really appreciate all you guys. And I always have fun playing with you guys on the server, so thank you once again. Appreciate it. Alright. So, apparently, it's funny, Spud and I had like this great debate for like a good, you know, 5-10 minutes about what we're going to do this evening, sort of thing. So, like, we weren't sure whether we were going to buy a field, or whether we were going to plant something, or whether we were going to collect some grass that was planted, or that was windrowed and whatnot. It was a pretty great debate, actually. It was pretty funny because we were both kind of like hemming and hawing what would be the best course of action, sort of thing. Eventually we decided to plant potatoes, because we realized that we need more potatoes. Basically what this map has become is the potato map. And we have put potatoes well. I haven't, admittedly, it hasn't been me putting potatoes everywhere. Definitely Spud, Louie, Isomer has been on, Donald's been on a few times as well. Bob was on the other day. So it's definitely been the direction that this map has gone is potatoes, which I don't mind. Because in this map we do have potato washers, and we do have the potato steamer as well, so it's been pretty good for that. Alright, make a little turn here. Perfect. I'm just gonna hop into the John Deere I left here running. And, oh, it did. I could see it in the, I could see it in the glance mod. I'm like, oh, engine is running, engine is running. I'm like, oh, turn it off, turn it off. Oh, goodness. Some of you may or may not have seen Ace Ventura. It's an older movie. It's got Jim Carrey in it. It's definitely worth watching if you've never seen it before. Anyways, what I just said brought a particular part of that movie to my mind. Now, the part in the movie is... ooh, I have to think about this now. He is trying to start his car. I think he's in the parking lot of the police station or something like that, and he's trying to start his car. So he's like trying his engine, and because he has an older style car in the movie, he has a carburetor in it, and one of the things he used to do with carburetors is pump the gas. We don't do that so much anymore because it's unnecessary, basically. But in the olden days with carburetors, that was something that you had to do a little bit before you could get the car running. Sometimes, not always, just sometimes. Anyhow, so he is like pumping the gas pumping the gas in his car. And he's trying to get it started. You know, he's turning the key on, and he's turning the key on. But at the same time, during the part in this movie, there's a guy trying to kill him, essentially, or like beat up his car, sort of idea. So, anyways, he's pumping the gas, and his windshield's getting smashed at the same time. He looks in the rear, in one of the side mirrors, and the guy slams and breaks the mirror. And then he finally gets his car started, and then he's like, "It's alive! It's alive!" I didn't want to scream in the microphone. That's why I was kind of holding back there a little bit. But anyways. That's what happens in the movie. Definitely, if you haven't seen that movie, it's an oldie. When did it come out? In the 90s, I guess it would have been? No, yeah, I guess it would have been the 90s, but definitely worth watching. One of my favorites of Jim Carrey's, actually. I guess it's between that one and The Mask. If you've never seen those two movies and you like comedy and Jim Carrey, definitely recommend checking those two out. So, anyhow, not everybody's seen them. I guess it depends on how old you are and what type of movies you like. There's some old, like there's lots of great old movies out there. Like one of my favorites from back in the day is The Great Escape with Steve McQueen. That's a good one. That's really old though. It's from like the 60s. Really old for movies, like in comparison to what people will probably normally watch. I suspect most people haven't seen movies from the 60s, unless that's a movie of their time, which is fine. Like it's definitely not a movie of my time, but I just like older movies and older music usually, at least when it comes to classic rock. So, anyways, that movie's a really good movie. And there's a movie called Bridge Over the River Kwai. Bridge Over the River Kwai is another good movie, old one as well, from the 50s. No, it must have been the 60s as well. There's lots of old movies out there. Lots of them I've never seen before. If you ever look up John Wayne's filmography, I think the film he has like something like 100+ movies he's made. It's ridiculous when you think about it. Because I don't like a normal actor's filmography these days is like 50 movies or something like that, something in that area. Whereas he had like over 100. I think Clint Eastwood's pretty. He's got quite a few as well. So there we go. Lift that guy up there. So I don't know. Just one of the random things I remember. I don't know why I looked up his filmography, but I definitely did a long time ago, and I was like, he's made how many movies? Holy smokes! So anyhow, he's made some good movies too. I don't know why. One of the old John Wayne movies I remember. It's called El Dorado. Don't know why I remember that movie, but I definitely do. I think it's because one of the movies my mom had. Maybe she still has it. I don't know. But El Dorado, and there's one of the guys in the show or in the movie itself. He has this like short. I'm not sure what kind of gun you call it, but it's like a short double-barrel shotgun. Sawed-off. Well, I guess I don't know if it was a sawed-off shotgun, but anyways, it's an oldie. Always got to remember the way John Wayne talks. So, anyhow, that's my movie reminiscing for this evening, I guess. I haven't watched too many movies lately. The most recent movie that I can think of that I've watched is a movie called Hardcore Henry, which I think I talked about in one of my previous videos. Definitely interesting movie. The way it was shot. Not a typical way of shooting a movie, and I say that because it was all done in first person, which was pretty crazy. I feel like this tractor is too small for this cultivator, but in reality, this tractor is a 435 horsepower tractor, so I think it's like scaled improperly almost. I think in reality, you probably need a weight in the front too, but we'll find out. Now, I'm gonna go check fields 16 and 17. Let's see. Going to caps locks. Feel like I'm shouting. F16 to see if it needs to be cultivated. There we go. So, yeah, it was really interesting movie. It's one of the ones. I forget how I watched it with my buddy. He suggested it, and definitely interesting movie. A bit different than your typical movies, that's for sure. 16. We'll see if it needs to be planted or not. Like I said, because we do have the damage mod on the map, and remember, you can't just put the damage mod in, as far as I understand. I think it has to be on a map basis. So for example, well, that's not true. You could have damage mod on any map. The problem is you would not be able to repair your vehicles unless you had the appropriate vehicle, or oh, that's 16 right there. Unless you have the appropriate vehicle or building, that's what I'm thinking of. Alright, so that looks okay. Let's check 17. There's a castle right there with an American flag on it. Are there any castles in America? Forts, probably, but castles, I don't know. If you're from America, I make it sound like I'm somebody from like so far away, like not in North America at all. If you're from America, anyways, if you live in the United States and you're a historian, let me know in the comments below whether or not there are any castles. I mean castles, not forts, in the United States. Because in Canada we have a few forts. We have like Fort Henry, for example, Fort Erie, which is close to Niagara Falls, which is also in the United States as well, of course. And there's quite a few forts. There's the Citadel Fort in Halifax, which is kind of neat. No, I don't want an offset. Why do you want to give me an offset? So there's quite a few forts here in Canada. I definitely have not seen them all. Actually, in Fort Henry, which is in Kingston, Ontario, they do this really crazy, I don't know what you call it, like Halloween themed, haunted house apparently, which is supposed to be super scary given your circumstances of where you are, sort of thing. So I've never been to it because I'm not a big fan of scary things. You can ask my wife that one time. Ask her how much I like scary movies. I don't know. I have seen some older scary movies, but they don't really interest me very much. I don't get excited to watch them. I'm just like, nope, no thanks. But some people, it's funny, some people are like, they know they're going to be scared and they're not going to have like nightmares, but they'll still watch horror movies. That I don't understand. Careful, Iain. One thing I was kind of curious about with the damage mod on here was whether or not it would actually incur damage as you're like using the implement, which apparently is not the case, which is good. I thought for a second that because we had because the item was hitting the ground, you would do damage to it, but apparently that's not the case. So well. Let me know in the comments below if you've actually tried out the damage mod and what has been your experience with the damage mod. I'm very curious to see what your experiences have been. So far, mine hasn't been too bad with the damage mod because I've been very careful. A lot more than usual, at least. But been pretty careful. Actually, I wonder how like forestry works with the damage mod too. I imagine that's pretty rough. Oop, that was a bit early in. Imagine that's kind of rough, because like the number of times you kind of like drive over like a tree or like run into the stump. Ooh, just thinking about that. Ooh, it doesn't sound like fun. Not much fun at all. But I suppose there, it's maybe okay. Let me know if you have played with forestry, which obviously, if you know what I'm like, I'm not a big forestry person. So if you've messed around with forestry and the damage mod, let me know how they play together. I'm assuming they don't play very well together, but it's possible they do. Who knows? These are my big, wide turns. The reason why I'm taking the turns so wide is because I'm worried that if the side of my tractor hits the cultivator, that it's going to do damage. There we go. Lower that down there. Maybe what we'll do is I'll show you how the damage mod works on this map. I'm sure it's the same on other maps, but it is a pretty interesting little mod actually. It's I find now, I guess in comparison to the way it used to be, now it's actually a neat little mod. In the early days, it was like you'd go over a bump on the road and you would take like 20% damage. So. But now it's not so bad. There we go. Make the turn. And is that going to take... Nah, it's going to take one more pass. Alright. That's fine. So there's a new game that... well, it's not really... I guess it's new-ish. But there's a game out that I haven't tried yet, but I'm curious to see what your opinion of it is. Basically, the game is this. The game is you create a vehicle, whether it be a truck or a car, and you actually adjust the body and the engine and stuff to do various things. And you can do like body customization, you can do different colors, you can change the performance of the engine, so if you want an engine with more torque or more horsepower, you can do that. And you actually have like certain missions they give you where you have to create a specific type of car. Like, they're like, well, this car is here to attract, a younger crowd to our brand, sort of idea. So let's say you're a Volvo and you want to attract younger people to the company, sort of thing. So you need to create a car that's supposed to attract that younger crowd. So, if that sounds interesting to you, leave me a comment below. I haven't purchased the game yet, but if that's something you guys might be interested in, I'll definitely pick it up. It's still in the early stages, but it does sound pretty neat, because eventually what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to like run a company. It's supposed to be like a company, like an auto plant tycoon type game. So let's say you're GM, for example. Really? You're going to miss that little tiny bit there? Let's say you're GM, for example. No, you really don't want to cut that. You're GM, and you need to create a successful company. So that is the eventual premise of the game. Right now, it's still in its early stages, but it just recently got like what they refer to as a light career mode, but it's still rough around the edges. Their words exactly. So let me know. That sounds like something that might be something that you're interested in. Let me know in the comments below. And if we get enough people interested in that, I'll definitely pick that up and show it to you guys. Where am I going? Oh yes, the shop. Also, I noticed right now there's a deal on through Bundle Stars. I've never used Bundle Stars, so don't hold me to what their reputation is like, but I just happened to notice it. I was reading through my news feed and that came up. But if you want to get like a whole bunch of simulator type games, why am I like only going 15 kilometers an hour? I guess because I'm going uphill? No! Okay, maybe it just looks like it's dragging on the ground. Anyhow, if you're interested in getting like a whole bunch of simulation games, so like agricultural simulator, historical simulator, logistics simulator, and a couple other ones. There's a bundle on Bundle Stars of all those games. I think a whole bunch of games by UIG. I'm not going to get it, I'll tell you that much, because I have seen enough people play games from UIG to know it's not a good idea. Let's just say that. Why on earth did you all of a sudden decide to go quicker there? What happened? It's like, I'm gonna go 15. Like, my foot is down right now. And then it must be because it's like it thinks it's dragging on the ground. That's the only thing I can think of. Anyways, but I've seen enough people play agricultural simulator and historical simulator just to know that it's an exercise in patience, is what it boils down to. But having said that, some of you may be interested in, so it's on Bundle Stars if you're curious about it. Use at your own caution, because I don't know what the actual site's like. And there's actually, this is a random thing, but I actually noticed Humble Bundle, which is something I have used, and I do like their product a lot. Humble Bundle actually has this recent, I'm only talking about this because it's something I happened to be reading this afternoon, that's all. Anyways, Humble Bundle has a new bundle that just came out with Space Engineers. It has got, what's the one I'm thinking of? Rust. It's got Savage Land, and one other game I was looking at. Anyways, it's got all these games, and it's like, you know, your usual Humble Bundle style, like $15 for all of them. How do I get over there? Oh man. I don't know. I guess we can try. Don't hit the tree, Iain. But anyways, it's got a couple of neat little games. It's called like a Survivor Pack or something like that. It's pretty neat. 5. It looks pretty neat. I might pick it up. Haven't done so yet, but It looks very interesting, to say the least. The Kuhn Kraus is what needs fixing. So I have to be careful because we do have drive control, so I'm trying not to destroy more crop than we already have. I think it is. It looks like it's still dragging. That's the reason why. I don't understand. I definitely have lifted it up. So I'm just going to lower it for a quick second, and then maybe that'll fix the problem. I don't know, but it definitely seems like it's dragging still. Alright, alright. As you can hear, there's chickens in the background. We have a chicken coop here. If you want to get crazy, you can do the chickens in all... I don't know. I think it still thinks it's dragging on the ground for some reason. Alright, now this is the shop over here. And if memory serves, let's see if we can get this into the middle bay there. Don't run into the back because you will damage it again. Let's see. Can I actually repair this over here? I don't know where you need to go. I haven't done it in this shop yet. Oh, there it is. Do you want to repair the Kuhn Cross? This is how it works. So it looks at the damage. So this only has 3% damage on it. And then you bring the overview window comes up, and then says estimated repair cost in the top left-hand corner, saying how much it's going to cost you in theory. And then you repair. So you hit the repair key, and now it is repairing it. And now it's repaired because that was only 3% damage. But just to give you an idea, that's how it works. With the repair mod. I think it's pretty neat, actually. And you can, because that was only 3% damage, it's not very much, but if you do like 20% damage to a tractor, it's a lot more. So anyhow, anyways folks, that's it for me for today. I hope you enjoyed another episode of Lakeside Farm. If you do want to go ahead and leave a comment below with what you'd like to see next. My name's Iain Robson, and I'll catch you guys later.